Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to have you all here. Welcome to Fibro Warrior, my new normal. My name is MJ Aragon, and I'm here with my producers, Jojo Merrick's and Tony Jeffries.
Hello, hello.
And we have a co-host normally, Christy Ortiz, and then Michael Perez, who will be doing our photos and newspaper article. They are not here today, but they will be here in the future podcasts. So here we go. All right. So do you have some questions for me there, Tony?
I do, MJ. I was looking at the picture you sent out, and it was purple. I wanted to ask you about that. So, is purple like the official color for fibro, or?
Yes, it is. It happens to be for a few things. I think lupus is also one, but purple is definitely the color for fibro.
Oh, it's like my favorite color. That's why I'm.
Yes, mine as well. So
like
that was
purple.
perfect.
It's my favorite color too.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're all purple people. All right.
I like the purple.
Purple is majestic, actually.
Okay, so
Royalty
Yep.
as well. Yep.
exactly,
Yep,
kingship.
absolutely. Yeah, so the ribbon is definitely the symbol. The purple is the symbol. You'll see it a lot. You know, I'll bring it, when I talk about fibro, I'll post pictures every so often on my Facebook page, and that symbol will usually be involved in it.
But no, I thought you would have the purple hair still.
I did have, actually, it was all purple. Did you see the
Yeah,
photo? Yeah.
I was there.
It was
I
all
saw it.
purple. And then after that, I did like an ombre, so it was half purple.
Okay.
Because it's a temporary color, it doesn't last long. So every time you wash it out, it lightens up. I do plan on doing it again for our photos that we do
That's
next
what I
week.
was thinking. Like, you got to use like on the mountain peak with that wind blowing, like Fibro Warrior.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'll be dope.
That's a
That'll
great
be
idea.
Really, yeah.
I'm keeping that in mind. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do it purple. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole thing or half again, but it will definitely be partially purple, if not all, for our photos. So.
Be like a Super Saiyan. Yeah, you know what that is?
No.
You gotta see Dragon Ball Z. That's a good thing.
Okay.
So,
My kids are into that, but no.
all right. So, since this is a fibromyalgia show,
Fibro Warrior.
Fibro Warrior,
Hey.
can you please tell us exactly? Because I don't know. What is fibromyalgia?
Well, I could tell you the technical reasons. It's called fibromyalgia, and I can just tell you what I deal with. And
Well, let's go with the book version first.
but the book version, there's many ways to say it, but it's basically it's a neurological nerve disorder. So it's in your brain basically, but it affects your nerves, which are all throughout your body. So it affects your muscles, your heat. It affects so many things in your body. It's basically an head to toe disease.
Okay.
And it's invisible. It's not something that you could look at me and say, oh, she's sick. I look normal. Anybody that sees me, oh, you look fine. Well, yeah, I walk around with a smile on my face. I put makeup on, and I try to look my best because I don't want to look sick.
You wearing makeup right now?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Really? Oh, I thought this was all you.
No, pretty much. I didn't, go crazy, but yeah, I have a little bit of makeup on. But a normal day, I don't. If I'm home, I'm not going to put makeup on. Why?
Right.
But no, I just put a little bit on. If I thought I was going out of the house today. That's the only reason why I haven't bothered. But we were going to go to the gym and stuff, but our computer issues kept us from that.
Right.
But yeah, it's something that when you wake up, there's this saying. It's called spoons. They talk about. I don't know a whole bunch about it, but basically, someone brought this up. You have so many spoons when you wake up. I don't remember the number that they use, but you have a number of spoons. Let's say there's 12 spoons you have, and your spoons are your energy. So getting out of bed for some is using up 4 spoons already just to get out of bed. Okay, taking a shower. Now people think, oh, take a shower. You feel good. You feel energized. A shower is good. No, taking a shower is actually work. Lifting your arms, washing your hair, shaving your legs, even if you get around to doing those things, it's
So
a
about
chore.
2 o'clock, you got like 1.5
Yeah,
spoons.
so you have to think about, okay, do I need a shower? Or do I need to go do this? Or do I need to clean this? Or do I have to do laundry? Or sometimes you have to make a choice. And so you could be only halfway through your day and have no spoons left. And you're basically tired and you end up being in bed the rest of the day because you've used all of your energy. There are days when you don't use too many spoons and you're feeling a little bit better. But on a day-to-day basis, you have to really be conscientious of what you're doing, how much you're doing. And if I try to do too much when I'm having a good day, then I will pay for it inevitably for 3 more days. I will probably be in bed without able to do anything because every muscle in your body will hurt. I'll probably have a migraine. I'll just be extremely tired. And those are the biggest things. Being tired, the exhaustion, the lethargy is just, it's crazy. I mean, there's times when I just feel like a zombie, like a true zombie. Like I can't think straight. I get the fibro fog. I'm trying to have a conversation with people and I can see them looking at me like, okay, speak. What are you going to say? Because I've completely lost my train of thought. And what I'm seeing that you guys aren't seeing is this white screen in my face with no words. And I'm like, get out of my way. Where's the word? And
I remember you were talking about that the day we met about to do the podcast.
Yeah.
Quick question. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
yes,
interrupt.
absolutely.
It sounds like it's much more physical than mental.
Oh no,
It's mental.
it's both.
Is it more taxing from the physical side or the mental side?
That's the thing. It's both. The exhaustion and the pain are head to head. They're right there on. They're both taxing.
It sounds like sickle cell, because people with sickle cell get sick and their bodies hurt and it comes out of nowhere. It sounds kind of like something that somebody who had sickle cell might kind of experience.
Yeah, I'm sure it is familiar. I haven't done any research, but I'll definitely look into that. It's I think the big part of it is because what happens is your nerves are overreacting. They're constantly fighting, and things that are minimal pain to you, like if I pinched you, that it'd be painful. Pinching's annoying, but to us, it's 10 times more painful.
Right.
The sounds are 10 times louder. Scents are 10 times stronger. Everything is in excess for us.
Right.
So we're very aware of our surroundings. That's why so many of us have anxiety because of too much sound or too many people. You start to feel enclosed. You start feeling anxiety. You can't breathe. Your chest hurts. You start sweating. All kinds of things happen because you're unable to handle all the sounds and senses that are around you. Because
like overload.
It's overload. Absolutely. Perfect word. Absolutely an overload. And I think that's why a lot of us, and there's different stages. I don't remember exactly how many, maybe 6 stages. And each stage, it gets a little bit worse. I don't know. I can't say that it's necessarily a progressive disease, but it does progress. And as you get older, things get harder and things affect you more. With me, I also have osteoarthritis. I've gained weight. I used to be skinny. I've gained weight. I'm not disparaging how I look. I'm just saying I used to be thinner. And the more weight that I put on, the more pressure I put on my joints. And I have arthritis in my ankles and in my feet and my knees. If I didn't take, I take meloxicam. If I didn't take meloxicam, when I walk around, I'm literally like crack, 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 crack. Everything's cracking. It sounds like some old lady.
So is the osteoporosis a separate issue?
Osteoarthritis.
Arthritis.
Yes, that is actually completely separate from fibro. I just happen to have them in conjunction.
Okay.
I was a very active kid. Excuse me for a moment.
Well, I want to actually, you said fibro fog. Can you walk me through the fog?
The fog I was touching on that earlier is you just you can't think straight. Like you're trying to concentrate. You're completely gone. It's difficult to concentrate anything. It doesn't matter what I'm trying to think about. I can't stay focused. I could be in the middle of talking about something, and right in the center of it, I will just totally lose what I was talking about. I would just, what was I just saying? I have to look to people. Bill and I, my fiance, husband, whatever, we've been together for 10 years, just passed up, and so a 10-year anniversary. We didn't do anything special.
Congratulations.
But thank you.
Right.
But 10 years, and we've been through so much. But we actually, I feel like we're playing 20 questions sometimes because I don't know what I'm trying to say. And I'll look to him like, help me. Like, what am I trying to say? And I'll give him all these descriptions. He's like, this. I'm like, no, that's not it. This. Oh yeah, that's it. And it's kind of funny because we can laugh together because I know he knows what I'm going through. But when someone doesn't understand or know that I'm ill, they look at me like, are you dumb? They give that look like, what are you, stupid kind of look.
No, I'm thinking about when we had you guys on the podcast, you and Bill, and it was like this back and forth thing you guys had going, where it was like you would almost finish a sentence and then he would say it, and then he would almost finish the sentence and you would say it, and I'm like, wow, this is like a power couple. These dudes are really in love, but both of you figured out how to make the fibromyalgia fog work.
Because he has moments, not that he has fibromyalgia, but he has moments where he can't think of something, and because we know each other so well,
he's old.
That it's easy. Yes, he's old. Because I'm actually older than he is.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's right. We always we found that out on the show.
Everyone makes fun of that, like, you look older. Ha, ha. But yeah, so I think that's just us being together. We spend so much time together, and have had such a good relationship, aside from the stress that we've encountered recently with him not having a job for a little while. Him having a job now is all it took to take away that stress.
I know exactly how that feels.
And so small little things. Well, small to some, not to others. Because we now have to live in someone else's house. You know what I mean? It isn't our place anymore.
I'm just saying,
and this is a nice place. It's lovely and beautiful, but it's not our place.
Right?
And,
No.
And part of fibromyalgia is losing independence. And it was already tough enough to let my man take care of me. Like I've always been, I'm gonna do it myself.
One of those women.
And I did everything myself. And so I learned.
Right.
Do you know what that means?
Well,
I was independent is the word that.
Yeah.
But I can't spell right now. It's a song where they.
No, I know what song you're talking about. Oh yeah, I love hip hop. I'm with you. I know what you're talking about.
Lil Webby.
Yeah. So yeah, I learned to do a lot of things on my own, like working on cars, and I put my battery in recently. I know that simple thing, but and I'm not feeling well. It was like a difficult task for me
that
these
was
days.
7 spoons right there.
But yeah, seriously, I'm not kidding. I was all red and it's hot and sweaty. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I just did some tremendous thing, but I put a battery in my car. It wasn't a big deal for most people, but for me, it took a lot of energy. And, but yeah, I used to do everything. I mean, I'm talking about cleaning the carpets and moving furniture and painting the entire house and anything that needed fixed. I went and got the hammer and the nail and fixed it. I was very much, I could do it myself kind of person.
Now that takes me to my next question. Like, I don't have anything close to fibromyalgia, but I do understand like a personal anxiety about something that you're dealing with, trying to protect other people from having to deal with what you're dealing with, and the exhaustion that comes on from like having this separate unknown battle between whatever it is you're dealing with and yourself, keeping it from everyone else at the same time. Like, how does that affect your day-to-day when you're like, okay, nobody knows I have fibro. I don't want to tell anybody I got fibro. I don't want to show them I got fibro. All right, so I got to battle with fibro until I get out of here.
I did exactly that my entire life. I kept it from everybody. But again, I didn't know what it was I was keeping from everyone because I didn't know what it was. How do you explain to somebody what you're dealing with when there's no name for it? Like, if you don't understand it yourself, you can't explain it to someone else. So I actually began this journey at a very young age. I was probably somewhere between 12 and 14 years old when I started having these weird pains. And some of the pains I'll describe to you now are like anything from feeling like little bug bites. You know how you get that feeling? Have you ever had that every once in a while? Like you feel like something bit you. That was constant. The shocking feeling like you've just been zapped, like you touched, an electrical outlet or a battery to your tongue, like kids used to do.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like those feelings up to someone stabbing you in the leg. And sometimes it comes and goes, and other times it will last a while and it's just persistent, and you just have to deal with it until it goes away. Now, dealing with that as a kid, I at first thought I was fairly intelligent. I thought growing pains. I probably have growing pains. But every time I spoke with my other friends, our stories didn't match up. Like what they explained as their growing pains was nothing. Mine was so much more intense than what they were dealing with. And I was like, okay, I didn't know what it was. And I wasn't super close with my family, my parents, we didn't talk too much, It may have just been the teenager thing or, whatever. But so we didn't have that conversation. In hindsight, I wish I had mentioned something and gone to the doctor. But then again, I went throughout most of my adult life still not getting an answer. I went to, I was in my 20s, probably after my first or second son. I had my kids at 21 and 23. And 22 and 24. My days went. And probably right after I had them, I noticed depression. And I probably had depression for a while, but I really didn't understand what depression was. And too many people didn't talk about it. It's kind of a phobia. People don't want to talk about depression, that they have depression. People look upon it like, oh, it's a mental disease, you're crazy. There's all kinds of things that are attached to that.
Like you're just weak.
Yeah. So I didn't really hear too much about it. I knew that I wasn't happy, but I didn't know what it was. And as a teenager, even before I got married and had kids, as a teenager, I recall sleeping like 18 hours a day sometimes. And I always worked at night. I've always been a night person. So I worked late hours at night. I would pretty much sleep all day. And if I needed to get something accomplished, I would have to force myself to stay up to get those things done. Otherwise, I wouldn't get anything done. And that's as a teenager. That was 18, 19, 20. And then getting married, having kids, I thought that the responsibility, of course, I wanted kids. I really, really wanted kids. And I thought that the responsibility of having the kids and fulfilling, be fulfilling enough for me to, whatever was going on, like maybe I'd feel better, if that makes any sense. And of course, having my kids, it was a joy, and it did keep me busy. But I started getting worse, and then the depression hit. And it may have just been because my relationship was kind of strained, but I found out at that point that I'm unable to take antidepressants. So everyone they tried actually made me worse and suicidal. And I didn't want to leave my children without their mother. And so I just had to pull myself up every day and go to work and take care of my kids. And at the time, I worked a lot because the casino business isn't the way it is today, where you have 3 shifts. We came in and we left when people left. So I would be there 12, 14 hours a day sometimes, and then come home to my little ones. So I was lucky if I got 2, 3, 4 hours sleep a day, and then my days off, of course, were
All
filled.
while having these like phantom pains.
Wow. And so the depression, was always there. It was always something I fought every day, and the pain. I tried it. I was always active. I've been active since probably 3rd grade. I've been involved in every sport, from anything from track to basketball to football. Anything I can get my hands on, I was very much a tomboy. And so, and I worked out all the time. So I contributed some of those pains. I'm like, maybe I'm working out too hard. Because after my husband and I split, I was working out more and just trying to feel better. I've always eaten healthy. And even when I did drink, I was careful about how much I drank. I tried to stay hydrated. I've never done drugs. I didn't smoke cigarettes. Like, I took good care of myself. And so it was constantly a battle, like, what is going on with me? I would go to the doctors and no one could tell me what's wrong. And it was difficult because they keep looking at me like, I don't see anything wrong with you. We can't find anything wrong with you. Like, I look fine. I'm like, no, this hurts and my shoulder hurts and my leg hurts and this hurts. And it's something different and it's all over the place, And so they're like, well, they don't say it, but they look at you like, are you a hypochondriac?
Oh, wow.
Are you making this stuff up for attention? And that is what made me stop going to the doctor. The looks, the look of sympathy and feeling sorry for me because they think that I'm just doing this for attention. They didn't say it, and they were polite, but you could tell the expression. Like, I've done all these tests. I'm talking blood tests of every disease they could think of. I definitely don't have anything. I don't have AIDS or HIV I took all the tests. They gave me all the tests. Hepatitis, all the hepatitis tests, every single test that they could think of for diseases and whatnot. And I have nothing. I'm clean as a whistle. So it was frustrating. I'm like, we can't find what's wrong with you. Unfortunately, which I found out many years later, is fibro is one of those diseases that you have to go through everything else to find out that's what it is. There's no tests for fibromyalgia. There's tests for everything else to discover that it is fibromyalgia by it not being that.
Oh, so that's how we find out what it is.
Yeah, so
This is kind of like the Mickey Mantle kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
was it Mickey Mantle?
I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure.
I can't think. The guy who had to quit baseball, right? Because he had a disease that nobody else had. Lou Gehrig.
Yes, that's it. Yep. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So after going to the doctors, and I had the nerve testing, they poke you with needles. They put these needles in your arm. I mean, it's painful stuff. I had to go MRIs and CT scans, and those aren't painful, but they're annoying to have to sit there and you have to lay still.
I don't like MRIs.
Yeah, not fun. Like that sound, the boom, 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 and all the different sounds, and you have to be so still.
I don't like being confined in the tube.
And don't let them tell you not to do something. Don't swallow or don't do. As soon as they say that, all I could do was swallow. I'm like, trying not to, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I can't put it in my head, and now that's all. I'm like, I need water. It's so hard to be dead still, when they're doing this test because there's so many things going in your mind. Okay, what are they going to find, And so for about 6 years, I'd say I just stopped going to the doctors. I just gave up because I was just so tired of them telling me there's nothing wrong with you when I knew there was. And so I just muscled through it, continue to work out and do what best I could. The problem with that, doing that on your own and not having any help and not having some magical medicine to make you feel better, I had to basically let my ex have my boys. And that was the most the most difficult decision I ever made in my life. And as much as I wanted them with me, I knew that they were better off with their dad because he had help. That's how he's always told to them, and they didn't understand what I meant by that, I'm sure. But help meaning I need help. Like, I need someone to help me, but I was by myself. He had a wife, and he worked normal hours. And if they stayed with me, who God knows what they would have gotten into, you know? I worked nighttime. I didn't have someone else to help me. And I wanted them to have a good life, you know? I didn't want them to be around their sick mom, you know? And I didn't want to have to explain to them, and they were so young, you know, that there's something wrong with me when I didn't even know what was wrong with me yet, you know? And so it was a struggle. My eldest son and I, we have a great relationship, and he's grown enough to understand, you know, what I went through, and we were able to have that conversation. My youngest son, we love each other, and we get along good, but he still feels like I abandoned him, and I'm like, I never abandoned him. I was always there. I wasn't his number one anymore, you know, and he regrets that, and he's mad at me for that.
How old is your youngest son?
He's 23. My youngest one's 23. He just joined the U.S. Coast Guard. Oh. And my eldest son is 25. He's super, super smart too. He was 5, I think. I had a book, The Firm, or one of those books in the back seat, and he just started reading it at 5. 5 or 6, because I think he was in first grade. He just started reading the book. I'm like, baby, what are you reading? And he's like, the juror or the client. Oh, the client. That's what it was. Right. He's just reading it like fluently. And I'm like, just like it was nothing. I'm like, oh my God. So he was in one of those advanced.
Growing up in school, he was more advanced.
Yeah, and that was when they were still with me before they went to their dad. And but yeah, super, super smart. But he's grown up. He's a mechanic. And at first I was like, surprised that that's what he chose because he's so smart. And then I realized, cool, cars have computers in them, you know what I mean? And it's more intricate than it used to be. It's not just nuts and bolts anymore, you know. There's a lot more to it. But he loves it. He's totally into cars. He loves it. He's such a smart kid, very, very thoughtful, thinks about things through. My young son, a workaholic, you know, works out, you know, he's buff, and you know, he wants to be good to his gut. He has 2 daughters. He just got married in August. He has 2 daughters. My granddaughters are 1 and 3. His name is Mikkel. His wife is Vicky, and his two daughters are Amia is the 3-year-old, and Ari is the Ari, I always say it wrong. Ari is the 1-year-old. Adorable, beautiful. The whole family's beautiful.
How's their relationship?
They're good. I think him going to the Coast Guard is going to be tough, you know, because he was around all the time, and now he's going to be gone. Right now he's in boot camp, so.
You know, the thing is, though, like, because I have 2 daughters, and like me and my ex-wife are divorced, hence ex-wife. But the thing is, kids always, there's energy. Kids always know, even though they may be harboring feelings, he's gonna come to that understanding. Like, they know, but they may have to deal with a battle themselves. It may take them time to evolve.
It's been like back and forth. Yeah, he's like, he's good with it. I forgive you, and then he'll kind of something memory will pop up, I think, and he'll send me something, you know, a song or something made him feel like. And I want to tell him though, like, I know that he feels like abandoned him, but he doesn't understand what it is to truly be abandoned, because my father abandoned me when I was 2, and basically signed off for my mom to take me, and I was actually adopted by my stepdad. And so, you know, I haven't seen him. I found him about 5 years ago. I'll get in that in a second. But yeah, he left. He gave up on me when I was 2. That's abandonment. And he never tried to reach me or find me ever. Right. Like none. And I want to explain that to him. But he doesn't even know me that well yet, because I try to keep our conversations light, because I want to have a good time when we're together. I don't want to argue, so I kind of push it off. And, you know, we've had a couple deep conversations, but, you know, I'm hoping that someday we will. And I think my biggest fear right now is that him being in the Coast Guard, like, I worry that something's going to happen to him. Of course, I'd worry anyway, but God forbid that something happened and we didn't, you know, really mend things all the way. You know, that kind of tears me up a little bit.
Right. Well, it sounds like it's in maybe not the best place, but a good place, and heading to a better place. Because he's only going to get older and learn more and start.
And that's what I hope for. Yes, absolutely.
And like, so he was what, 2, 3?
He was 3, and my eldest one was 5 when they went to live with their dad. Yeah, and and it was supposed to be temporary. That was the part of, like, just to see if, you know, if they were, just for my ex to see. It was difficult because he wasn't helping me out financially or anything, you know. Right. And he was trying to make it difficult. I broke up with him, and so at first there was some turmoil. We get along great now. Actually, we get along very well. His wife and I, not so much. I wish we did, but we don't, you know. But he and I get along well. It's respectful, and when we all see each other, we're respectful to each other. It's not like we're mad dogging each other, and not, none of that is happening. We're all adults, But there were times when she made me see red, and I wanted to knock her ass out, But my kids are around, and I was like, Danny came out, my ex came out, and I'm like, you need to take her away from me right now, And I'm not. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I like to keep the peace, But she's probably one of the few people that have brought that out of me, where I've actually seen red and been that angry. And it's because she disrespected me in front of my children, And I'm like, that's not okay. And sadly enough, a lot of negative things were said about me. Part of it's my fault because I didn't tell people what I was going through. But once again, how do you explain something that you don't know, that you don't understand yourself? So I had to deal with. Do I tell people? Do I want them looking at me and feeling sorry for me and tell people I'm crazy? Because that's inevitably what's going to be said. Because that's what it's going to seem like to them. Where for me, I know that's not the case. I'm not crazy. I'm not an idiot by any means. But as I get older, I feel this illness taking my brain from me. You know what I mean? I feel like I use this scenario. I'll probably read it on our next podcast, but something along the lines where when I was younger, I found out I was really smart when I was in like 5th grade. And now I feel like the little girl before.
Exactly. He just got it.
Just grab him.
Wait. I want to hear your story, but I've been hearing this for like 2 minutes.
It's the Humpty Dance.
Bill is over here playing Digital Underground.
Oh no, I think it might be.
upstairs?
Yeah, it might be
Okay,
upstairs.
because
Yeah.
I'm digging this the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I thought it was Bill. I was like,
Oh,
what?
wait a second, what?
No, I think it's upstairs.
Sorry.
Well,
Yeah, no, it's
Now
fine.
that I've interrupted you, though, I wanna ask the question because I thought that was Bill. But how does, with you dealing with fibromyalgia and including the original marriage and now being with Bill, how does being in love or having someone actually love you help you deal with fibromyalgia?
I was with Danny for 6 years. We were young. We were really
Right.
young, and I was very set in my ways. Like, I already knew what I wanted. I was a hard worker. I'm like my house a certain way. He was still kind of growing up, I think, and that was a big part of it. He was trying to sing, and he was a little bit on the selfish side, and that was where our heads. I'm like, me and the kids are first, but it seemed like his music was. So he wasn't supportive as much as he could have been. I know he loved me. I don't doubt that he loved me, but he just wanted what he wanted so much that we were kind of secondary. I actually remarried about 6 years after that to my husband, Desi. A year after we were married, we found out he had a brain tumor almost to the day. And a year and 3 months later, he passed on. He actually is the one that turned me around because I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel loved when I was a kid. I didn't feel as loved as I thought I should have been by my husband. The only real love, of course, is my children, And so Desi really had to pound it into me like, I love you and I'm here for you and I'm not going anywhere. Unfortunately, he's not here with us, and that tore me up. And that took me a long time to get over, and I spent all my money, and I didn't do drugs or drink or, do anything crazy like that, but I spent a lot of money, like buying things, hoping that, just to feel kind of happy for a minute.
Yeah.
It literally would last a moment, though. It's like I bought a car, and I'm like, I have a car. I bought some clothes. I have clothes. I mean, I was just looking for something to make me happy.
Fill
I was
that
so
hole.
unhappy, and things were just going downhill. And fortunately, Bill and I had mutual friends, and so we bumped into each other. We started hanging out. I started playing softball with him, and
Saw the pictures.
yeah. And then he went on vacation for Christmas. We had been hanging out for probably 6-8 months at that point. And we were spending so much time at that point that when he went to Florida for vacation, he actually missed me. And he called me, he's like, I miss you. And I was like, I literally said, I miss you too. What's wrong with me? Because I didn't plan on, having another relationship. I wasn't ready for that. I knew I wasn't ready, And so we talked every day for an entire week he was gone. And when he got back, we got together. We've been together ever since. And that 10 years just passed on the 26th. So yeah, 10 years just passed. But one thing I did want to say real quick before we wrap this up, I'm doing this not only to share my story, but to know, for other people to know that have fibromyalgia or anything that's connected to that that they aren't by themselves, that they're not alone, they're not the only ones, and that the people that are around people that have fibromyalgia, or family members, or just someone that they may know casually, so they can understand what that person's really going through, that it's not just something that they have, because you don't see that they're sick on the outside, that there's much more to it than that. And so that's what this is about, to spread that awareness, let people know that you are not the only ones going through this, and if you don't have anyone else, I'm here to talk to you about these things if you need me. Now, I'm not going to be perfect every day. I feel bad too. You're going to hear me on here some days where I'm probably in tears or tired, or I'm not going to hide any of that. That's all going to be here. And so that everyone that wants to understand fibro is going to understand. Everybody who has fibro needs to know that they are not alone. That's the most important thing. So,
Amen.
Anyway, I want to thank everyone for listening. And if you stay tuned for our next podcast, we will have people submit their stories. I will share with you. You'll finally get to meet my co-host hopefully next week, and maybe have some people come on as guests. So I'll let you know. Thanks. Have a good day. Love y'all.